Welcome to Are We Gonna Talk About It with Ty
and Taryn. It is a space where we have candid conversations surrounding
faith, marriage,
family, and ministry.
Here we go.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Guys, we are back. We are
back.
officially back. Back from the trenches of life.
Oh my gosh.
Back from the roller coasters. Back from all of the things that have been happening in our life, in which mostly
all good. All has turned.
All has worked together for good.
All has worked together for good.
Yes, because I can't sit up here in this seat and be like, ooh, we just been living life. Life has been just wonderful. But all things do truly work together for good. And
yes,
so we are back finally. We missed this place.
Did y'all miss us?
Did y'all miss us? Y'all thought we weren't coming back. Y'all thought this was just going to be like one of them little podcasts that was a one and done and they doing other things with their life. Nope. We here.
Man, here we are.
Here we are.
Season
5.
5?
I gotta pull out the receipts.
This is season 5?
Yes, honey. This is definitely.
We've been with y'all for 5 seasons?
Season 5.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Last year was season.
That's crazy.
So our very last episode that we released was on December 28th, 2024, wild. And here we are,
almost a whole year.
Almost a whole year, but guess what? We made it. We made it in 2025. Come on,
that deserves another. Hey, we made it
in 2025. We made it back. We made it back to y'all. We truly missed, just this platform. We missed. All. We miss being able to just share, moments of our life and just encouragement with you all.
Yep.
We do recognize that this is a space that God has put on our hearts to do.
Absolutely.
And he had to work on us. He had to work in us. He had to, transform us. He had to shape us and purge us and purify us and all of the things.
Does he ever stop?
Yeah, no, he never stops. But there are moments where I believe that he draws you in a little bit closer and have you stop doing some of the things that you are normally doing. Woo. So that he can work on you for a little bit. And I believe that is why we had to take a moment to catch our breath.
Absolutely.
Along with the transitions that we're going to kind of just share some of the things. If you follow us, you already know that a lot of transitions have happened. God's working on us at the same time, having us move and in many ways.
Yeah. So we're going to get into all of that and many of the transitions that we experienced throughout this last year.
Yes.
First
off,
I want to say, if you are new here,
yes,
I'm glad that you joined us on this episode, but I also want you to click that subscribe button. I want you to follow so that you can stay up to date with all of the posts and videos that are coming down the pipeline. If this content is helping you or has helped you in the future, I'm going to ask you to share also and comment, because we do read the comments.
For sure.
We're encouraged by them, but then also let us know if you have any questions with things that pop up that you want to present to us, man. We love to tackle some of those things here too.
Definitely.
Yep.
We definitely enjoy just this space, and I feel like it's a place of freedom for us. And so, we're sharing things that we are experiencing as we walk with the Lord and as we live life. Yeah. And what we say. This podcast is about faith, family, marriage, and ministry.
And all of those things we have experienced in the last year.
Yes, God has left no rock untouched.
We got a lot to comb through.
Yeah, I don't even know where to begin, but we're just going to jump in. Y'all probably remember 2024, I shared some big news about leaving my job that I had, my career that I had for almost 15 years. And I think that's where we kind of left. We were at the end of the year. Yeah. That was the first year in 2024, the beginning of 2024, that's when I walked away from my career,
which was huge.
Which was huge. And so we ended the podcast at the end. With the end of the year, and so that was, of course, the very big transition that kind of kicked the transitions off. I would just say,
Absolutely.
In the midst of that, I believe in 2024 of September, April, May,
Oh my gosh. Fall.
Y'all will catch that. Spring. Joggers. But anyway, yeah, so back, I think in September, I was having some prayer time.
Mm-hmm.
And in my car, I just dropped the kids off from school. And just having some prayer time in my car, I kind of like pull over into a little parking spot, just thinking that I'm going to just have this nice little time. Sometimes I don't like to be at home when I have my quiet time. I just like to be out, see the sun, the nature, all of those things. So I'm just, in the parking lot, relaxing, having a little prayer time. And the Lord begins to impress upon my heart something that I was not expecting to pick up. But one of the things that he shared in that moment was like, sell your house, new is waiting. We're going to just sit right there. If you don't know, when we moved to Charlotte back in 2017, 3 months after we moved, God blessed us to be able to purchase a home.
Yep.
Very nice home, a home that we thought we would keep,
Mm-hmm.
even after, we would keep that home. And even if we move on, we would still have that property. But right there in my car, God spoke so clearly. Now it wasn't an audible voice. I don't want to say that, but it was just an impression upon my heart in that moment where I knew, and I could not deny that this has to be the Spirit of God speaking to me. So I just wrote it down, and after that I bawled my eyes out because I was like, man, Lord, I just gave up my job. Like, you want me to do what? You want me to do what? Oh, and but before that, I think there were some other things working, because that was September. What happened in August?
Talk to me.
August, turned 40 in August. We came back from a nice trip and ended up having some conversations, and God began to impress upon us to transition our ministry that we had. Some of you know we were pastoring a ministry called Flowing Life Outreach and Worship Center, and in August of 2024, God began to stir some stuff up. So you got me only like 8 months into leaving my career.
A career that you have been with for a very long time.
That years. I enjoyed. Of course, the income, for sure, it provided what we needed. But then right in that, God began to stir some stuff up about us transitioning our ministry and merging with another ministry. So that's August. And then September, God begins to impress upon my heart to say, okay, sell your house, new is waiting. So in that moment of me sitting in the car, I'm thinking about, I already gave up my job. We got these conversations that we're having about this ministry.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me to sell my house. 3 things? Like, Lord, that does not make sense. I sent him a message to say, hey, this is what the Lord just spoke to me, or I feel like the Spirit of the Lord shared. I need you to check, make sure I'm not missing it, because this don't make sense. It wasn't like we were struggling. Like, and I know some people can look at it like, oh, well, you're not working no more, so maybe that's why they had to sell their house. Nope, that was not the case. That was not the case. Actually, if we want to be real, where we are right now, we're paying a whole lot more, and this is a temporary space. So, it was just crazy that, Lord, why are you having us do this? I'm gonna stop right there. So I want to let you jump in on just kind of your process and with all 3 of those things happening.
Yeah. So I do remember getting the message and you saying that you believe that God was showing you that we needed to sell our home, and that new was waiting or something along those lines. And my first thought was, I don't know about.
That didn't sound right.
I'll pray about it. Let me check in.
It took you a while to even respond to my message.
Yeah, but I'll say this too though. I think there's something to be said about, as the head of our home, as the leader, and then I'll even say not just as a leader, but just, kind of where we are spiritually. In most cases, God will show me something, and then I might present it to you, and and then you'll pray about it, and it's just like, yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a great idea. But this was one of, and I don't want to say few, but this is one of those moments. You usually don't come to me on like some big life changing things, like, hey, I believe that God told me.
Yeah.
So that was one of those things for me where I was just like, I know she's not making this up. But then for me to be sensitive enough to say, hey, instead of just throwing this out, let me lean into it and let me pray about it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I could have done in that moment, or one of the most important things I could have done, as opposed to just like, no, I'm leading this family. Like, no, this is an asset. Now we need to keep this. Now we need to, just stay here for much longer. But after I prayed about it, I did have a peace about it, where, on the inside, I was just like, God, I don't know what you're doing. And then I remember us too having a conversation, and you were just, and you can probably segue with this as well, but I remember you saying something along the lines of, I feel like God is just taking everything away from me.
Yes.
So maybe you can speak to that feeling too. Like, we believe that God is telling us to sell our home, and we'll get into kind of the transition of that as well. We believe that God is telling us to transition our ministry. So it's just like, hey, this ministry this is my baby.
Yeah. Like, this is what we knew that he sent us to Charlotte for.
This
right?
is the reason for the move to Charlotte. But now you're telling us to give this up. The home that you blessed us with, only being here for a few months and had everything that we asked for, and was a miracle story
for sure.
by itself, with 12 offers. I don't want to go into all the details, but 12 offers on the table.
We have a testimony video.
Cash offers even ahead of us, but them still choosing to take ours, and us having that favor, and everything that we wanted in the house. We had it and got it for a very good and very reasonable price.
Yeah.
And then equity built into the home as well. So you factor in all those things, and then just having this feeling of like, well, God, why did you bless us? Why did you speak this to us? Why did you tell us this? Why did you give us this?
It
if
even
you were
made
just gonna
us
take it away.
I was gonna say, asking that question, why God, why did you do this for us? But it even had me thinking, like, God, did we mess something up? Did we make a mistake? Too. Like, did we not hear you on these things that we moved on? But I'm like struggling, because I'm like, God, I really believe that you did these things for us.
That was a hard part.
And so having to like work through and pray through thoughts like that to say, okay, God, where did we go wrong?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people can relate with that too, because I think that's a natural feeling to feel like I must have messed up. Something,
which is
like I must have,
condemnation in a way, right?
Yeah, I must have done something wrong. I do, just now I'm just thinking, a couple different passages, but one in particular, I'm thinking of one where Jesus tells the disciples, "Hey, cross over the water, and I'll meet you on the other side." In the middle of the night, the storm comes, and then he's walking on the water, and they're freaking out because they think it's a ghost. But like I just consider, when I break that apart in the details, I just consider like, hey, if Jesus told us to go to the other side, why are we experiencing this storm?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why are we going? Like, why?
I'm doing what you tell us to do.
I'm doing exactly what you told me to do.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the feeling that I had in that season, was just like, I don't like, this don't make sense. I feel like we're doing all the things, but this feels like, I feel like we are being, I feel like we're being either maybe reprimanded is not the right word. I feel like we are being like, this is like a consequence of maybe something that we missed.
Yeah.
And so I had to do a little bit more seeking and praying. It's just like, hey, God, I need clarity, because I also felt like you're pulling everything away from us, everything that we've kind of built our lives against, built our lives on. But these are also things that kind of, I could almost say even were the baseline or kind of structured our identity.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like this is the house that, hey, we're going to have a cookout this weekend. Hey, let's host it at y'all's house. Hey, we're going to do a little Christmas party. Hey, let's host it at y'all's house.
Yeah.
The kids coming over playing in the backyard, you know what I mean? And then with the ministry, hey, yeah, we know Ty and Terry, the pastors, the ones down in Charlotte. Like, and so those things that are your identity, and then those things are stripped away, and it's just like, who are we?
I mean, so I dealt with that even with walking away from my job.
That too.
So I was already,
Talk about that part.
I've been working since I was 15, 16, always keeping a job, sometimes 3 jobs at one time. But I've always worked, always used to producing income. And then now for that to be taken away, I struggled, not extremely, but there were moments where I did struggle with like, okay, I'm not doing this no more. Yeah. Stuff is changing with the church. Like, identity, like what am I supposed to be doing?
if I don't have a job,
if I don't have a job, I'm not doing as much with the ministry anymore. And we'll probably break each of these. We already shared about the job transition, but we'll definitely break the transition about the ministry and then, the home kind of maybe in different episodes. We really want to mainly talk about just those feelings of when God calls you to transition or to things are transitions.
We're gonna talk about our marriage too, because obviously
because that got affected too.
Transitions affected our marriage as well.
But yeah, so in my mind, I was already struggling with identity, so that was just like more on top of what I had to like work through, because I'm like, okay, I don't, and sometimes I think I've shared this with you, or I shared this with you. It felt like I was just on a conveyor belt of just going because I had no insight. Like I just felt like I'm just going through the motions, just taking the kids to school or doing what we need to do, and I'm just here, but like struggling with that identity piece because I felt like I didn't have purpose. In what I was normally, used to doing. Yeah,
absolutely. I will say, so in this transition, all of these things are taking place between September, August, August, September, October. By the time we hit December, by this time, by this time, we are planning to put our house on the market.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're fixing all the things around the house. And so like we're right in the middle, kind of somewhat in the middle of the transition where it's just like, hey, this is happening. We're in the middle of also transitioning with the church.
Because the big announcement was coming on New Year's.
The big announcement was New Year's Eve. So we're also transitioning, flipping everything, turning everything, talking to our teams, preparing everybody that we're connected to as well. And so like we're kind of right in the middle of this transition as we get towards the tail end of the year. Which, going into the new year, like you would think it would feel like, hey, there's a freshness about the year. But for us, it felt like, oh my God.
We have a lot to do.
We got a lot to dig through. We got a lot to unpack. We have a lot of newness. I will say though, one thing that we did not get a chance to talk about, actually a very good thing that we were able to do as a result of selling the home. That we didn't get a chance to talk about, or at least not up to this point, was that we were able
testify
to knock out all of our debt. Gone.
With a little surplus wiped on top. Come on, Jesus.
Out.
Yes.
When I tell you God did his big one.
Yeah.
God did his big one. And that was one of the things that for me, I was just like, hey, we can't not celebrate this. Like we can't just gloss over this. Like
we're gonna celebrate.
Yeah, this. Like there was a lot happening, but at the same time, we were excited because we were just like, this is something that we've been praying about since we got married. Like, one of the things that we said, and I don't think we even noticed it until months later.
Yeah.
But when we got married, and I don't know how soon, I know it was definitely within the first year, we said, man, our dream would be to be debt free before 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
Debt free before 40. You had just turned 40.
Well,
that was
2024. I turned. Yeah, I was 41 when we became. But
yes,
you were
no. You're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
But we were there.
So you had just turned 41. I had just turned 40. And we were just talking through like, man, this is what we prayed about.
What
like
we prayed for.
We didn't even realize we're standing right in the middle of it. And so like that gave us a boost of hope, because it was like, man, it's a lot going on right now, but God, you did it.
But for me in that moment, it felt like I'm glad you had said that in that moment, because you were like, we need to celebrate this, because I think because there was still so much more to just like, we didn't know like what it was just so much uncertainty. And I think in that moment, my hope in the moments of the transitions, my hope began to diminish. But I also felt like what God had taught me through all those transitions was that my hope has to be in Him alone.
Yeah.
And so I think there were moments where I wanted to, like in moments of transition, you're looking for something that's just consistent, right? And it's like, yeah, I know God, you're with us. I truly believe that. I don't even question. I think initially when He started giving us all these instructions, I was questioning some things, but I don't think I ever questioned like God being with us. but it was like nothing is consistent right now. Nothing is where I can say, okay, this is how it's going to look. I mean, we were moving from one place to another place. Even that was not consistent. We had to create new routines. And so nothing was like consistent. And so I think the closest to me, which is you, I'm like, okay, at least my husband should be consistent. But even in that, we saw like tension and things like that. But even God was showing me like he told me when I got ready to leave my job, he was like, this is between me and you. And so even that
Say that
nugget,
again.
He was telling me like, this is between me and
what
you.
What does that mean?
Meaning that any issues or anything or any struggles that I had, I couldn't take it out on you. Even though I know I probably did in moments. But it was like God he showed me like, no, you need to come to me as the source. Like anytime you're upset, anytime you are offended about something, anytime you're frustrated or disappointed about how things are shaking out or how the transitions are going, you need to come to me. And so I took that when he shared that with me about me leaving my job and applied it to all these other areas. Like I really got to go to God about everything. Not to say that there isn't something that conversations that had to be had between us, but ultimately God had to be my source of sustainment and contentment in those moments.
So I think that's worth highlighting or maybe underscoring. So the way I took it when you shared it with me was just like, hey, you can't hold this against me moving forward. If at whatever point we have challenges with finance, if at whatever point you feel like, see, this is why I want to leave my job. The way I took it was just like, hey, you can't hold me liable because this is something that you believe God told you to do. Now, I mean, barring I do something irresponsible or something stupid. Right. But I'm just saying, like, I think that's important because, like, in any of the things that God tells us to do, though it affects us, any decision I make, it does affect us.
Yeah.
But any instruction that he gives me, I can't hold you to that standard of something that he's essentially, shared with me. And so I know that transition was pretty tough going throughout that entire year and figuring yourself out, but it just more so speaks to why the transition was even more challenging. Because now that you've gone a year and you're still trying to figure out, hey, what does the new me look like? Like what's my role in the house? What can I be doing outside the house? What are some dreams, goals, ideas, thoughts that I want to pursue? Oh man, now I gotta kind of put that on pause because we're transitioning to church. So I feel like I gotta help Ty, transition to church. I can't let him do it by himself. And we're moving the house. And so now I feel like, I gotta make sure home is taken care of.
We were getting to switch roles in a way.
Oh, we absolutely
when it came
did.
to like who was like the main person to kind of oversee home and especially with the kids and stuff like that. I mean, it was like we began to switch roles. And so even in that, like how we do things are differently. And what I realized is like, okay, we got to communicate what this looks like now. Like,
so that was part of the challenges of the transition. Again, like, so we're navigating these transitions, but then also our roles are changing. So just like you said, hey man,
we're changing
I would
too.
I would love like everything around me is changing. I just need something constant. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just need something or someone constant. But for us, it was she, when we first moved to Charlotte, was commuting back and forth. I mean, you were commuting back and forth to Richmond when we first moved to Charlotte. Right. And then over time, you did not have to commute as much, but that was still your home base.
Yes.
And then as the roles switched, once I transitioned, with the church, now I'm having to commute. So then like, at that moment, at that space and time, I don't know that we ever had a full conversation, or maybe we did, but just didn't know exactly what it would look like of, hey, now I'm actually going to be traveling. You're going to be at home more. So what does that look like for us? What responsibilities do we need to take on? What does our personal time look like? One thing that we really let drop, and we'll talk about this, I think in another episode in detail with our marriage, was date night.
Yeah.
During that transition, we weren't dating.
Yeah.
We didn't make time for each other because
I didn't feel like we had time.
No,
between
Which you should, we should have made.
We should have.
Time.
We definitely
but
should have.
But it felt like there's just so many other things happening.
I'm telling you, I was on a conveyor belt just moving along.
Yeah, right.
Just pushing, trying to, and it was hard to push in moments because I could not see light at the end of the tunnel, in which we did have to have a conversation. And you encouraged me because you were like, this is just a season. Like, this is not how it's going to
Let's talk about that.
Go ahead. Because I got to that point of just like, I wanted to have a breakdown. Like, I wanted to have a pity party. What did I do? Tell it.
I was sharing just like, hey, babe, because I knew she was razzled. I knew she was a little overwhelmed, overstimulated. You know, all the things of the transition. And so one of the things that I just kept telling her over and over was just like, hey, this is just the season.
But I needed to hear that.
This is just a season. Like, this will not always be like this. I won't always, be out the house. I won't always be on calls all day long. I'm still trying to figure out what my rhythm and routine looks like in this new position. Yeah. We're also in a new home. We got stuff in storage. We've never had to have stuff in storage. So where's all my stuff? Hey, where's my, workout stuff? Hey, where's my clothes? Where my, like the simple things of just a simple transition to a new home. And so, having all of that, and so I'm just telling her like, hey, this is just a season. But I think where the frustration came in with that though is just like, hey, seasons only last about 3-4 months. You know what I mean? So like, what happens after you've been saying, hey, this is just a season? And we still you know what I mean? Like,
we
this
still
is
on a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, this is December.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is just a season, and it's January, then February. And then March comes, we launch the church. Yes. Right? Yeah. Launch the church, still trying to get acclimated at home. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then,
because we didn't move, we didn't officially sell the house until April.
Yeah. So yeah, no, absolutely, you're right. We hadn't fully transitioned yet.
Thankfully, we had a good offer on the table.
I forgot about that. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
We didn't transition and we didn't move into this place until after we had launched the church. Yes. So everything leading up to that was preparation. Yeah, absolutely.
A couple weeks.
That's crazy.
A couple weeks after.
Thinking about it now, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But so in that, you go months and months and months, and over time, and I don't think you ever said this, but I knew exactly how you felt. And it was, if this ninja tell me that this is just a season one more time, I'm gonna snap. No, because this season is lasting too long.
No, I mean, I didn't think that per se. I think I was glad to hear that from you, because I think there were moments where we weren't even talking about everything. And so everything was just built up inside, and I had no outlet to express because I knew you were doing a lot, with everything, trying to, all the stuff that was happening. I knew you were doing a lot. And so in my mind, I'm like, if I express this or share this, like, it's, I don't know how it's going to make him feel. However, I'm not good at hiding things. I'm not. It comes out in my breathing. It comes out in my expressions. And you're making a face over there because you like, I'm not going to say anything. This is my moment. Faces. This is my moment to not say anything.
She'd be like, I ain't say nothing. You didn't have to.
So I think because I was holding a lot in, it was coming out. And I think that is what I guess we said, okay, we need to talk about what's going on.
But what didn't help is that I think, again, with our marriage, there were just so many miscues and miscommunications and things that we needed clarity on. And I think we were on two different pages of even some of our expectations.
Yes.
That weighed heavy as well. And so even in the transition with the ministry, one of the decisions that Taryn made, though, there were opportunities for her to say, hey, like, I want to, be a big contributor to this transition with the ministry. Hey, I want to get involved, like, with leadership and help out with all the things. But for her, she said, no, I need to take care of home.
Yep.
Hey, just give me some time for me to just be at home.
Yeah.
To be with the kids.
Yeah.
To unpack.
And that had to be the spirit, because I don't, me, I'm like, okay, well, what are we doing?
Yeah, usually you ready to run.
I need productivity. I want to move. I want things to do.
Yeah.
But in
that moment, she said, hey, I need to settle home. Like we need to get home based. And I'm so glad that you did, because I didn't know how much we actually needed that. And so going through the transition, obviously, like we had to have conversations like, all right, if you're taking care of home, what does it look like with me traveling, or what does it look like with me committing? Again, me still trying to figure out what my rhythms are, my daily rhythms are. But it also meant many, many, many hard conversations.
Many.
And
then when you think you talked about it and you got resolved, you have to go back and talk about it again.
Let me just put a marker here, because this is something that we are going to talk through on a podcast in more depth. But I'll be completely honest and say that the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, but the last year and a half of our marriage, 13 years together.
Tripping. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, if we want to go there, man, the last year and a half have been, I would say, the most challenging years of our marriage.
Yeah.
And I want to clarify too, like, I think all of these transitions were very good. However, we were not on the brink of divorce.
Yeah.
We were not like, hey, we got to pass this up, or we got to try to look good in front of people, or, hey, if you don't, then I will. Like, it wasn't anything like that.
But we weren't on the brink of thriving either.
We weren't. I mean, but it was more
on
so
that
like
conveyor belt.
Yeah. Hey, and again, we'll get into it in detail with the actual episode, but I will say, like, no, there was nothing fake about it.
Yeah.
I don't think there were any places where we showed up and where we were putting on the front, because, some of y'all know this about us, but if you don't, like, we're just not the types that's going to show up to an event and just put on a show or fake it, or be in the car arguing and then walk in like nothing's wrong. So that's not us.
Because we were talking about it. It was just, it just required us to talk more.
Yes, it required much, much more conversation. Navigating our marriage, navigating, selling the home. Church just launches. We finally sell the home. And now we're trying to settle into what we think should be a normal routine. Little do I know, after launching the church, it never slows down.
Right.
So now we get into the summer, and it's like, hey, I think we're getting a pretty good rhythm. I think we're getting a pretty good routine. I think we're doing a little bit better. And then
you make it sound like you about to say, then Taryn's pregnant or something. That's the way you're kind of building the suspense. I'm sorry.
No, it's definitely.
And then a baby comes.
Oh, it's definitely suspense.
Not here.
The date was June 6th.
Oh God.
The date was June 6th. Tore my Achilles. Yeah, you forgot, huh? It was a lot that happened this year. Date was June 6th.
June 6th or June? Oh wait, June 6th.
I believe.
Yeah. June 10th.
I tore my Achilles in short, and this is gonna be a whole nother episode as well.
That's a whole nother episode.
I tore my Achilles, went in to have surgery, had a stroke. They found blood clots in my brain, rushed me into surgery, get in there. The miracle story is that they all disappeared. We're going to talk in detail about this. Doctor said it was a miracle. They found a hole in my heart. Long story short, I ended up having to get a heart surgery so they could, repair the hole in my heart. And now I am still doing physical therapy to recover from my Achilles. But at this point, the neurologist said I am perfectly fine. The cardiologist said I am perfectly fine. The physical therapist is working with me now and said I am ahead of schedule. All the things. I feel like I'm missing one of the ologists. I don't know how to say it. The orthopedologist.
No.
The orthopedic. The
orthopedic
doctor. The orthopedist.
The podiatrist. No, that's a foot doctor.
Orthopedist.
Is that for real?
The orthopediatrist.
Did you make that up?
Orthopodology. My orthopodologist said that
I don't believe that's a real word.
No. Yeah, and my physician. and my doctor. Everybody. I've been cleared by everybody. Anyway, we're gonna talk about that whole story in a whole nother episode.
That was definitely, like we said, not on our bingo card.
Oh my
for 2025.
Stroke enters the chat.
Entered the chat, y'all.
And so, again,
I mean, Achilles entered the chat first because that changed how we had to move.
Yeah, it did, because I could do nothing.
We were supposed to go on a date night the day that he got the Achilles injury.
And this was supposed to be our first date night since like December.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like 7 months, and we're just making this progress. Like, hey, we're gonna let's try to get this rhythm back.
We can do this.
I get hurt, and yeah, I go down. And I tried my best.
But
I was like,
hey, everything happens for
it does, and it did, and so
had to happen.
So what happened is Taryn ended up having to take on all the responsibilities at home. I mean, I literally could not walk, and they said, hey, you need to lay down at least for like the next 5 days or so. And so in that space, obviously it affects the ministry, because now other people are having to be pulled from other campuses to be able to support us. Taryn is kind of pulling on some of our support systems and friends here to help out.
Up. We're gonna get into that.
Yes, we're going to talk about all of that. But I say all of that to say that you ended up having to carry more weight, but it also affected, again, our marriage, because like, hey, we were about to get some momentum back, but then we lost that momentum. We were making progress, finding my rhythm with the church, but then it's like, our
dog back there.
We lost the momentum, not lost, but lost a little bit of, it felt like a setback. A little bit with all the things. And so that was just yet another transition, was just like, hey, where do we go from here? How do we pick up the pieces to begin to start putting back the pieces to what felt like whatever this new normal is supposed to be.
What is it?
So I think that's
I don't even think that I can say new normal or new normal. I can't say new normal. It's like things got to get back to normal. In my mind, I was just there's no such thing as normal.
After stroke,
anymore.
There's no back to normal. After you transition to ministry, there's no back to normal. After you move out of a house into another home, especially, with intention and, kind of a downsize, and it's just temporary. Yeah. There's no normal. Back to normal.
I think if anything with the transitions that taught me even more that like comfort is, I don't want to say being comfortable does not exist, because I feel like in moments that you can be comfortable, but for me, it's just like, I think I lean more into being content over comfort.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
I'd agree. I sometimes say, that you just kind of get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just know, like, and
not from a place of fear or worry.
Yeah.
But I think that's why the contentment piece is so important, because it's like a rest in God.
Yeah.
Ultimately, when things are just being shaken up.
Everything got shaken.
Everything got shaken up.
I can't think of the Bible verse off the top of my head, but it is whatever can be shaken will be shaken.
Let me look that up real quick.
Until what can't be shaken
remains.
Ooh. And I feel like this has absolutely set the foundation for our new normal, or settling into, hey, this is what I believe should have been. This is what it should have been all along from the beginning.
And you know what? And it's not even external things. It's internal for me.
Talk. That's exactly what I was saying.
Firm foundation, 10 toes down, in trusting the Lord. Not to say that I won't ever go through something else, but it's just like, oh no, Lord, bruh. I trust you. Like, I believe, like, my hope is in you alone. Like, you can't convince me otherwise that through everything. Like, I know him more as a result, and which is what we should all be, learning to do or striving to do is know the Lord more, or coming to the knowledge, the fullness of,
I can honestly say, and I think you would agree, at this point in our lives, there is nothing in our life that is an idol.
Yes.
Because that's what was dismantled throughout this last year. It's just like our home. Yeah, no way we're selling our home. Like, we're passing this to our kids, which is noble, which is it's good intentions. Yeah. But at the same time, if God tells us to give it up, we gotta give it up. Hey, this church, this is my baby. God, you spoke to me. You gave me a word. This seems counterproductive, or this seems like it goes against what you actually. I started to rebuke it the first time. I was just like, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah.
But I held it loosely. This is one of one of my boys, told me one time. He said, hey, you got to learn everything that God blesses you with. You have to learn to hold it loosely. So if he ever asked for it back, it wasn't yours to begin with.
It wasn't yours in the first
place. And so that's where I think we found ourselves now. We're just like, hey, this was the point all along, to get us to a place where whatever God wants to take from us, he can have it.
He can have it. Yeah.
And there's not going to be a fight.
That's
and there's not
good.
going to be a tug of war.
That's good. Yeah.
So
I love it.
I believe that was the whole, even at this point, my life is not my own.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Like after almost losing it and then literally like be laying in the bed and have no control over what my body is doing, but to be fully aware at that moment, it's just like, hey, God, thanks for the reminder. I don't have control over this.
Yeah.
And I can lose this any moment.
Losing control.
Yes. Music make me lose control.
Let's go. I want to read something real quick before we end this pod.
Let's go with it.
During our transitional,
end so soon.
Our transitional season, I had to journal, I had to cry, I had to write, pray, lament, all of the things. But this is not
about the grief.
This is commentary from a scripture. Philippians 3:20. It talks about like our citizenship is in heaven, and we eagerly await a savior from there, the Lord Jesus Christ. Now, I know that sounds very, very deep. And what does this have to do with transitions? But I believe it speaks to just change, because when you understand that we are just here temporarily. Temporarily.
Mm-hmm. No,
Thank you. And I think it's important that we have to remain mindful. One of the things that I had to continue to remain or meditate and just pray about is just, God, like, help me to not get so caught up in the affairs of cares of the world I lose sight of what this is really all about, and that's heaven. And so from that verse, there was a commentary a nugget that said, change is a reminder that we aren't yet home. And if we aren't home, then maybe getting comfortable isn't the plan. And so
that's good.
I wrote that in my journal as we were navigating all of these transitions. And I felt like it really encouraged me to not lose sight of what the main thing is.
No, that's really good. One of the ideas that I learned, or at least, something that came to mind some years ago, was just the idea of like having a layover and like you getting to a layover and being upset because nobody's there to greet you. Nobody has a sign with your name on it. Nobody's helping you with your bags. You don't have a car to get into. You don't have a home to stay in. And for me, it's a constant reminder of that layover. Just like, this is not my home.
It's not my home.
Like, this is transition. This is temporary. There will be a place one day that I walk in. I'm just like, this is home. And that is that eternal reminder. That's kind of, a lot of people don't like to think about, or maybe don't, just because it's like, hey, here and now, today is what's important. But that is a constant reminder of that as well. I know we got to finish out, but I do know that on one of these episodes, we got to talk about the grief.
Yes.
Grieving, that grieving process of losing it all. I mean, because we talked about kind of the frustration and just like God taking it away. But it still was a grief process with the church, with the home, even though we were obedient. That's the part. Like, to be obedient to release something and still have to deal with the grief of the loss. And that was a process. And well, I think will always be, but just how, we navigate those things. And again, just holding everything loosely.
Yeah.
And letting God be in control, which is what he want to do anyway.
Yeah. Let him be in control.
Yeah, man.
He in control anyway. Let him have full reign.
Y'all, we back, and I'm excited.
This was very good.
I'm excited because probably the next 2 or 3 episodes, we're going to unpack in much more detail some of the things that we talked through here. One of the things that I'm really excited about is unpacking our marriage, because I believe it's going to help a whole lot of marriage. We've talked in like smaller circles about some of these things, but we really want to hash it out, because I know a lot of people can benefit from that. The transition with the ministry was a whole nother thing. Like how we processed, how we prayed through it. How do we know this was the right decision? How does it impact other people? How do we pray to our leaders?
How did it, I guess, impact us in our marriage? And how did we? Because we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to talk about like the very beginning of how this even all started.
Oh, it's a lot to unpack. So I'm looking forward to a lot of those things. But we will be back soon. This is what I want to encourage you to do. Listen, I want to encourage you to like to subscribe, to comment, to share, to hit that bell, and make sure that you're receiving notifications. I know it sounds like a lot, but I'm just saying, like, if people are enjoying this content, just like anything else, man, you eat at a really good restaurant, you want to tell somebody about it. If you got some encouragement here, I just ask you just to respond to it with one of those things.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you all in our next episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
It's good to be back.
It's very good to be back.
I love this.
I love this for us. Man, we made it, guys. We made it.
All right. Hey, here's the us. Here's the y'all. For sticking with us. Season 5.
I almost said 4.
Wow.
5. Wow. All right.
Let's get it.
See y'all next time. Bye.